Today, we're going to compare the Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro Max to 5 of the most popular earbuds: the AirPods Pro 3, Bose QC Ultra Gen 2, JBL Tour Pro 3, Samsung Buds 4 Pro, and the Sony WF-1000X Mark 6. Now, we're going to focus on how their performance compares, especially their mic pickup, noise cancelling, sound quality, and transparency. And after that, I'm going to compare them individually, so buckle up. Links in the pinned comment. If you want to check the latest prices on Amazon, click here for Shopee, and subscribe for more reviews like this one. In terms of their microphone pickup, the Liberty 5 Pro Max is definitely one of the best in this group, and by that I mean even in extremely noisy conditions, background noise reduction was excellent, voice was filtered well and amplified loudly. It was in fact crisper than the Sony's voice pickup. Now, most of the others in this comparison also did quite well, and the Bose was quite comparable to the Soundcores in my testing, but the AirPods Pro 3 on iOS didn't fare too well. Voice filtering on voice isolation mode was too aggressive, so it was cutting into my own voice. But of course, the AirPods, with its super wideband capture on iOS devices, did have the clearest, crispest mic pickup in quiet conditions. These earbuds were tested in both quiet and extremely noisy conditions using really loud cafe noise and wind noise from this fan. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro Max. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the AirPods Pro 3 with voice isolation mode turned on iOS. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the Bose QC Ultra Gen 2. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the JBL Tour Pro 3. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. I'm now making a phone call in a quiet place using the Sony WF-1000X Mark 6 earbuds. I'm now making a phone call in a noisy and windy place using the Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro Max. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm now making a phone call in a windy place using the AirPods Pro 3 with the voice on iOS. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm now making a phone call in a noisy and windy place using the Bose 2C Ultra Gen 2. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm now making a phone call in a noisy and windy place using the JBL Tour Pro. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm now making a phone call in a noisy and windy place using the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I'm now making a phone call in a noisy and windy place using the Sony WF-1000X Mark 6 earbuds. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The Liberty 5 Pro Max's noise cancelling is pretty impressive. In fact, it's very close to the silence that I got from the AirPods Pro 3 and very comparable to other premium earbuds. Frequency sweeps show that it is quieter in the mid-range than the Bose, Samsung, and Sony, which covers human chatter and everyday noises. And it is quite comparable in its noise cancelling power to the JBL Tour Pro 3 and the AirPods Pro 3. Now, where they don't cancel as much noise is in the sub 70 Hz region, covering the ultra low noises that you feel like the rumble of the subway train and the droning, rumbling noises of the plane's engine when you're traveling. Also, there is a slight hiss in its noise cancelling, so there is a bit of white noise masking being applied here. Listen to the samples. Now, if you want to compare their active noise cancelling and call quality to other products, for just $1 per month or more, you can access my secret weapon, my personal database, which lets you compare their samples A to B directly. Hundreds of people have joined up because this saves you so much time, being able to just cut through all the marketing and compare the products yourself without visiting a store. Most stores don't even let you try the products due to hygiene reasons. So join now on YouTube or Patreon through the links below. The Liberty 5 Pro Max's transparency sounds pretty clear, great for general awareness of your surroundings and face-to-face conversations. But as you can see from these frequency sweeps, compared to the rest, they aren't amplifying ambient sounds as closely to the bass noise level represented by the white line. So it feels a bit occluded. I gotta say that most of the others do have transparency that sounds a bit clearer than the Soundcores, well, except for the Bose, which feels a bit more occluded than the Soundcores. Now, for sound quality, I'm gonna compare the Liberty 5 Pro Max to the others side by side, as well as highlighting the pros and cons of each product. But before that, listen to the following sound samples and tell me in the comments which one of these earbuds sounds the best to you. Compare their sound quality to other earbuds, go to loud&wireless.com/soundsamples. The Liberty 5 Pro Max sounds a lot more V-shaped than the AirPods Pro 3 on their default settings, with heavier emphasis on bass loudness and extension. And in that sense, I do enjoy the Soundcores more. But the AirPods Pro 3, on the other hand, sounds more clinical, so the emphasis is more on separation and crispness rather than heavy bass extension. Now, sound quality aside, the reasons I like the AirPods Pro 3 are its seamless integration with Apple devices, so it transitions easily between my iPad and my iPhone, or even multiple iPhones. In fact, it also supports super wideband voice capture through the microphones for crisper voice capture on Apple devices. Its noise cancelling is a little quieter than the Soundcores, and what I like most of all is its case. It's thinner and smaller, so it's less obtrusive in the pocket. The Soundcores, on the other hand, is the flexible choice, because whether on iOS or Android, it's fully supported with the Soundcore app, whereas the AirPods limit most features and firmware updates to Apple devices only. And the Soundcore offers more value in terms of features, like the screen on the case, which makes it easy to operate the earbuds without using your phone, and three-way multi-point pairing. It's also far more customizable than the AirPods Pro 3 in terms of sound customization, and in terms of performance, its mic pickup in noisy conditions is better, whether on iOS or Android compared to the AirPods Pro 3. The Liberty 5 Pro Max sounds very similar to the Bose QC Ultra Gen 2. From my A to B testing, the only real differences are that the sound cores are a little more tame in the upper mids, so vocals are a smidge more mellow, and its sub-bass tapers off a bit more than the Bose, which, to be fair, I can't really tell just by listening. Now, that aside, the sound cores do have some real advantages over the Bose, like its seamless three-way multi-point pairing and the screen on the case, which lets you operate the earbuds without your phone. Where you might want to consider the Bose instead is better noise cancelling against rumbling noises, better controls because having both tap and swipe controls on each earbud means that you can access all the controls even with just one earbud in your ear. Also, and this might be subjective, I do find that the Bose fits better. Although they do have a similar stability structure as the sound cores, the Bose sits more snugly in my ears, which can be better for workouts. The Liberty 5 Pro Max's bass is a bit heavier than the JBL Tour Pro 3's, and it has a fuller signature overall. On the other hand, the JBL's vocal separation is cleaner, it also sounds a bit crisper, and sound staging is more laid back than the Soundcore. It's a bit more Harman in its tuning. But of course, the Soundcores will appeal to people who prefer more gravitas in their sound. Now, obviously, both have cases that have a screen on it which lets you operate the earbuds without your phone, but I like the Soundcore's screen better. It's bigger with faster frame rates, so using it feels more fluid, whereas the JBL's screen is smaller and a little more janky. The Soundcore also has three-way multi-point pairing, and its mic pickup is better. So those are compelling reasons to get the Soundcore, but the JBL Tour Pro 3 is also compelling in certain ways. For example, it supports wired audio connection, whether it's 3.5mm or USB Type-C audio. And I find that to be super useful because I do have some non-Bluetooth sources like my camera monitor, but if I wanted to, I could also connect them to my old CD player, amplifier, or TV. Comparing the Liberty 5 Pro Max to the Samsung Buds 4 Pro, the sound cores lean a bit brighter in the upper mids and high frequencies. Bass is also heavier, while the Samsungs sound a bit more mellow and fuller in the mid-range. Even the timbre of vocals sounds a bit different on the Samsung. Also, the Samsungs seems to have a bit of shimmer in the soundstage, and that makes its soundstaging feel a bit more airy. So that's the difference in their sound quality, but as a product, the reason I like the Samsungs is that the case is smaller, so it doesn't take up as much space in the pocket. And if you like using just one earbud at a time for calls and for some audio, since the Samsung has both tap and swipe controls on each earbud, you can access all the controls on just that one earbud when you're wearing them. But in the end, it is still a Samsung optimized experience, so you do need a Samsung device or at least an Android device with the Samsung wearable app to access its settings and features. With the Soundcore, you can get all of that whether on iOS or Android, since the Soundcore app is readily available on both platforms. You also get three-way multi-point pairing, and having that screen on the case also lets you operate the earbuds features without using the app. So there's a lot more flexibility if you go for the Soundcores. And on Android devices, you can enjoy high-res audio streaming through LDAC codec with the Soundcores. Whereas with the Samsung, yes, you can get ultra high quality audio, but only if you use Samsung devices using the Samsung Seamless codec. On their default settings, the Liberty 5 Pro Max definitely sounds more V-shaped than the Sony WF-1000X Mark VI, emphasizing the bass, upper mids, and high frequencies, while mid-range is a bit more recessed, so it's a more thumpy, groovy signature. The Sonys are more boosted in the mids, so it's a flatter signature that sounds good for vocals, whether it be male or female vocals, but it's also less heavy or groovy. Now, honestly, if we were to look at their features, the Sony is at a disadvantage because whatever the Sony could do, the Soundcore can as well. Even Sony's DSEE Extreme, which upscales compressed audio to make them sound more high-res. Yep, the Soundcore has something similar called AI sound enhancement. The Soundcores also have Dolby Spatial Audio with hit tracking that works with any device or content, three-way multi-point pairing, the screen on the case which lets you control the buds without using your phone. So yep, it's got pretty much everything. Adding to that, its mic quality in noisy conditions is also clearer than the Sony's. That being said, the Sony does have better noise cancelling in the very low rumbling frequencies, and in the higher mids to treble region, it attenuates better because of its foam tips with the longer nozzles that plug into your ears, which is very useful if you're on a flight with screaming babies. Just saying. So that's how the Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro Max compares to the rest. Would you buy the Soundcores after watching this video? Let me know in the comments. Links in the pinned comment. If you want to check the latest prices on Amazon, click here for Shopee and subscribe for more reviews like this one. By the way, here's my deep dive into the key features of the Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro series, including the AI note-taking feature and so on.